Lisa Combs, and this week on Behavior Bites, we're going to be talking about a concept that sometimes we refer to as emptying the cup or emptying the bucket. So I want you to think back to a day when everything went wrong. Nothing huge, just little things that accumulated through the day and kind of made it one of those days that you get home and go, this day cannot end too soon. I just want to get my glass of wine and sit in the tub and forget that the whole day existed. So we've all had those days where small stresses accumulated and maybe even made us react in unexpected ways that we normally wouldn't react. So let's say that I got up this morning and my alarm hadn't gone off, and now I realize I'm running late, and so that automatically has put me in a mood, right? I go out to get my cup of coffee and find out that I don't have any coffee filters, and so now I'm going to have to stop for coffee on the way to work if I even have time to do that. And then when I go out to get in my car, I realize that I didn't fill the car up, so now I've got to stop for gas, and that's going to put me even further behind. And my day just kind of continues like that, where one little thing after another keeps happening to just add to my stress levels. So by the time that I get home, I've been managing all day. I haven't snapped at any of my coworkers. I did what I needed to do. I got things done, but it has been all that I can do to keep it together. And I walk in and my teenage child has left their dirty laundry in the middle of their dirty socks in the middle of the family room. And my reaction is, what in the heck? Am I the only person in this house who knows where their hamper is? Why do I have to always pick up everybody's dirty laundry? This is ridiculous. And I'm kind of losing my mind over something that's a relatively small issue or problem. So I have a big reaction to what's kind of a small problem because my stresses were accumulating throughout the day. And throughout the day, the cortisol in my system was building and building to the point that it really didn't take much to make it kind of overflow and cause me to have a big reaction to something that maybe shouldn't have been such a big deal. Does that sound like any students that you know? Sometimes we think, well, this kiddo sometimes reacts in such a big way to nothing, but maybe we didn't see the small stresses that were accumulating to lead them to that point. So it's kind of equivalent to if this were my cup and I'm adding coffee to it and adding coffee to it, even if it's just sitting still and there's nothing going on, at some point it's going to be full, right? And even if I'm not demanding anything of that student, at some point their cup may be full, and it doesn't take a lot to make it overflow. I mean, after a certain amount of time, this coffee cup is going to overflow if I keep pouring into it, right? Even if I stop pouring into it and it's close to the top, if I do much of anything, if I try walking across the room, if I go up the stairs, with every additional demand that's placed on me carrying the coffee, the more likely it is to kind of slosh over and spill. And so that's kind of a good analogy for thinking about how our students have that cortisol accumulating through the day, and it may just be a little bit at a time, but at some point their container is full and they can't take any more until some of that is emptied out. Otherwise, you may get a big reaction to a relatively small problem. And so I want you to think in terms of what can I do throughout the day to keep the cup from getting full, and also to help kids empty that cup out throughout the day so that they can take those normal stresses that are accumulating through a given school day, because there's no such thing as a school day or a work day where some stresses don't accumulate. So what can we do to help our kids empty that cup periodically or keep it from filling up so fast? And some kids' cups are smaller than others. Some people have a big cup that they can take a lot of stress before it overflows, and other people have a relatively small cup and can't take a lot before they are reacting. So think in terms of keeping an environment that's relatively low key, because even enjoyable things can accumulate in overstimulation that makes our cup fill up. So you want obviously some fun and enjoyable things to do in your room, but you want to alternate stimulating activity or arousing activities with things that will help calm down again. And just as a general rule, you want to keep your environment a fairly calm and low-key place. So think about lower lighting or more natural lighting. Think about having some calming music playing in the background. Think about teaching your students volume control and what conversation level is allowed for different activities in the classroom, so that it's generally a calm, quiet, predictable place where there's a routine, where I know what the expectations are. Because honestly, the fewer choices we have sometimes, the more calm we are. Think about a day that you've had, like I was describing before, where your day has just gone haywire and little things have been happening all day to add to your cup. And then you get home and your spouse says, let's go to dinner tonight. And you say, oh, that sounds great. I don't have to make dinner. And your spouse says, okay, where do you want to go? And you about hit the roof because you're like, I can't make any more choices today. I am done. So even something pleasant and fun can actually feel stressful or add to your cup if it's just more than you can handle right then. And we all know that from maybe dealing with toddlers, and we know how they act when they are overtired, overstimulated. Things go haywire quick, and you can sometimes then get an unexpected reaction, a large reaction to something relatively small, because they're just overstimulated. Their cup is full and they need to empty it out. So think about building in times intentionally during your day that allow kids to decompress, calm down, and empty that cup. It could be just structured activity where the expectation is calm and quiet and in our seats. It could be journal writing time. It could be a stretching activity that you build in between reading and math groups. It could be a lot of different things, but you want to think in terms of bringing the stimulation level down instead of up periodically through the day to allow your kids to empty their cup. And just recognize that when you do have a student who has those big unexpected reactions to a relatively small issue, like someone knocking their pencil off or you asking them to redo a problem that they got incorrect, when they're having a very big reaction to something that's really pretty small, remember to kind of remind yourself maybe their cup was getting full for quite a while, and that was just the last splash that caused the overreaction, and that we need to build in more opportunities to bring down that stress level. I hope that gives you some ideas. Please spend the next week thinking in terms of whether your environment is over-stimulating some of your students, or whether maybe you need to build in some times where you are having active decompression times. Again, I want to make the distinction. I am not talking about downtime or free time, because sometimes free time requires students to use self-management skills to figure out, what am I supposed to be doing? What am I allowed to do? What am I going to get in trouble for versus what am I expected to do during this time? So I'm not talking about downtime / free time. I'm talking about active, scheduled, routine activities that are calm, quiet, and decompressing. So give that some thought, get your creative juices flowing, and I hope you have a great day. And the bonus of keeping your students' cups less full is that your cup will get less full as well. Bye-bye.